Hey everybody, welcome to the Startup Dunedin podcast. I'm Angus, and today I was joined by Mitch, Ben and Luke as they talked about their journeys through the Mana Rangatahi program. If you're interested in hearing about their personal journeys, maybe you've looked at the program and thought, is it for me? This is a great episode for you. If you're interested in learning about some perspectives from Dunedin youth and what they think the city needs to help youth, then again, this is another awesome episode to listen to. I hope you enjoy the show. Kia ora everybody, welcome to the Startup Dunedin podcast. I'm joined today by the crew from Mana Rangatahi. We've got Luke, Ben and Mitchell. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Yeah, happy to be here. It's definitely my first time on the radio, so it'll be interesting to see how it all goes.
How good, a debut. So the first question that we normally start with when we have a program or we have a startup on the show is just to give an overview of that startup or that program. So could you tell us a little bit about Mana Rangatahi and what that is?
Well, we'll open it up then. So Mana Rangatahi really is basically a community-led group where it aims to create community, but that's firstly, so it's youth-focused, hence the rangatahi part, and it focuses into sort of like three sort of segments where it aims to propel you from sort of being a bit lost or not knowing exactly where you are or how to get to where you know that you want to go, and to give you the skills and understanding both of yourself and of the sort of environment around you to be able to reach success in that goal. We can, I'll pass it on to Mitch to nail into that a little bit further.
Yeah, Mana Rangatahi. I'd probably say it's a youth kaupapa. A lot of people like to call it a youth program, but I hate the idea of a youth program. It kind of sounds like a negative connotation, but youth-led program for rangatahi, mostly with like a business kaupapa or kind of drive behind it. But it definitely starts from a core waiō perspective of who you are and what you want to do in the world. For me personally, it's definitely like a big pathway finder. I got put around the right people in this group and been grateful for it ever since. So that's what I would call it. What was your experience, Luke?
Yeah, it's like pretty much just understanding who you are and like what's your why you do things and all that, kind of like just a bigger, deeper search into yourself, understanding what you want to do, and it's just all about the youth focus, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think like some kind of kaupapa like that, and then helping you find your pathway in the world, because
gives you your compass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what
direction
starts off with kōwaio, which is figuring out who you are, what your values are. So like to know, like one of a real cool session was when everyone brought in something that sort of tied them to their past or a really important like object to them, and just sort of showed how that represented, how that resonated throughout their lives, and sort of how it led to them becoming who they are. So you sort of like look back at the whakapapa of your life, both, carrying forward in the more general, in the more explicit sense of whakapapa in terms of like who are the people that created you and how you got to be here, but also within events within your life and also all of your experiences and how they have all sort of come together and mixed together to make the person that you are. And then from there, carrying on from understanding your values and everything, we were pushed to look for what our unique value proposition is, which is the thing that separates us, that thing that came from either say like, trauma or experience or whatever, that shows a difference or a distinctiveness compared to other people, and then from that, figuring that out, then the final stage of the Mana Rangatahi program that we went through was to figure out how to sort of market or take hold and run with that unique value proposition, either through figuring out what you wanted to actually be getting educated in, or figuring out which career path you wanted to take, or in the case of quite a few of the people that we were with, launching their own business that was really focused on a kaupapa that they cared about and that they were passionate for.
Awesome. So you've got this crafting of your story and your journey and how you communicate that with the world, regardless of what pathway you want to take. And that's obviously one of those amazing outcomes that you get through coming through that kaupapa or through that program. What does a typical session look like? So if I'm going to turn up and I'm going to come along, what am I actually going through?
Yeah.
Well, it's not really. Let's just say that we haven't no session's really been similar.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. I think we used to rock up and basically start hooning with each other before we started, and then Heidi or Sophie we'd have kind of like a kaupapa or like a theme for the evening. But most of the time, it's just been us interacting with each other and being around people that I think are more well connected or well set up in the world. Just people with the same mindsets, but have already gone down that career path and down that journey and had advice for us and kind of, I suppose, a little wisdom to take off of them to avoid the same mistakes or same fallacies they fell into.
Yeah, it was awesome because definitely a lot of passionate speakers coming in and talking about their very different journeys and experiences.
Yeah, we were real lucky.
Like people from all across the social spectrum. You know, everyone's doing different things, and it's really good because I think sometimes, even though we are like still really connected and we're in a very like globalized society, you don't really get a chance to actually see the truth, like the sort of truth from people very often. So actually getting the chance to, especially truth from people who have come from, say, a very different background from you or have had very different experiences and different understanding of the world. It's real cool to be able to see through different lenses because it adds to your own understanding of the whole world around us.
100%. So, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, just like every session's just so different from each other, honestly. Like when I first turned up, I was real nervous because I didn't know anyone at all. Straight away thrown in the deep end, just chucked in a room with a bunch of pretty awesome people, and to introduce myself first, and then I was just like, everybody's eyes were all on me, and it was just but no, it's just amazing.
No, it's been real cool. Every session's different. We normally have a theme for every one. I think originally it was based on who we are, then it kind of moved into what we want to be doing or what maybe we should be doing, aligning our values with our mahi, I guess, whether it be further education, actually getting into a job or employment, or starting your own business. But I think the most important part of actually the whole process for me, at least, has been being around the right people. I just finally got the opportunity to be in an environment that I wanted to be in for years, which is around people with a business mindset, but also good values as well. Which is kind of hard to find because I feel like definitely these days there's a lot of facades around about who you want to be, but it seems like there's a currency coming up for truth or for honesty and vulnerability, which is pretty cool. I
think that actually was something that I feel like we do almost brush over. We were like, especially at the start, we sort of were asked to almost strip ourselves back and show that vulnerability to each other, which definitely facilitated the trust and like the connection that we all had with each other, which has been real awesome because even like now we still are all mates, all still really close mates with the people that we went through Mana Rangatahi with. It's a really great, I suppose like as it's sort of always been about community, having that connection with people.
100%, just what Ben said, we all kind of got exposed or had to have a bit of humility in who we were and the mistakes we've made and kind of things we've struggled with, I guess. But being that kind of vulnerable around a group of people makes you very close. I think Heidi puts it, we took a bunch of strangers and just kind of turned them into a whanau, so it worked out pretty well. But, we've been really lucky. We've got some connections for life as well, which is always good for your soul, I think.
So you talk about stripping out those layers and being authentic with each other. How did Heidi and the team actually facilitate that? What sort of activities were you guys doing? What did you have to do?
Caught it away. Just talking, Just talking. Like, most of the time, it's going to sound real trendy and hip, but we just throw down a beanbag and like sit around and talk to each other, which was awesome. I think that's what really started it. And we'd have normally someone would put themselves out there, or Heidi or Sophie would put themselves out there, and then someone else would take up the mantle and kind of continue on that. And we'd all jump on that bandwagon. And once you got one person kind of exposing themselves to everyone, or exposing their soul to everyone, then other people, other people want to do it and jump on that bandwagon to kind of talk with them or help them. So that works out really well. One person puts themselves out there and the rest kind of want to do the same thing.
And for each of you, was this sort of like that first session where you have to do that? It was right off the bat, or did it take a while for you to grow confidence to do that?
It took a while.
Definitely wasn't the first week that we were throwing all of our dark secrets out there.
It was like second probably or third, but I think the common theme around everyone there was that we were all there for the same reason. So it wasn't hard to do eventually. I mean, some people took longer than others, but that's nothing, like there was no expectation of anyone else to catch up with us. It was just once you feel comfortable, do it. Don't do it or force yourself into it. We should probably create an environment where people feel comfortable doing that, not expect them to do it for us. yeah, I think there's a big difference in that.
No, yeah, I think that was the thing. Like, I think it was more just like there was no judgment, or there was a lot of trust, a lot of no judgment, and there was a lot of support, and that's very key.
Yeah.
To actually facilitate people actually talking to each other, because
Exactly.
if you think you're going to get shot down by someone as soon as you talk to them, you're probably not. You're probably not going to lay your soul on the line.
Nah,
but
no
if you
way.
feel like everyone's going to offer you and bring you up, then you probably will.
Exactly. Nah, I think people like Ben's like a ball of confidence, really. He does a lot of things. Yeah. He does a lot of things with
Mate,
a lot of
it's just a
energy.
facade, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I think you fake it till you make it. Like that's one of Heidi's favorite sayings.
That
as
is
well.
how that is definitely how
Yeah.
it started. Definitely, I think.
Yeah.
You know, even when you sort of like feel like maybe you're not getting accepted or not getting supported, sometimes you just well, especially for me, it was just pretend that you're confident in it until people believe it, and then you'll believe it as well.
Yeah.
And that's that was probably about a 5-year journey to get there.
Took a little work. Yeah. No, worth it though. But yeah, you get people like Ben, and you get the polar opposite, which are people are a little more shy or closed off. But it's probably for a good reason, I'm guessing, given their experiences in life. They probably had to create their personality for a reason. So, like, there's no harm or no blame towards them for being like that. It's just a result of their environment, I guess. But then you come into an environment like, Mana Rangatahi, and you get all these people. Like, these guys are gangsters. Real cool. So, yeah. You get people like that supporting you, then,
Bring you out of your shell.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely got a couple of people that really come out of their shell, which is awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this before, Luke. You joined the program at a different time to Ben and Mitchell, is that right?
Yeah.
But was it in the same sort of timeline? So you're going through the same content at the same time, is that right?
He just jumped straight into where we were. I think because you sort of did like some extra sessions or like some extra time outside to sort of get yourself lined up within. And then it was just a matter of actually trusting the dude, because look at that face.
Oh, wow.
But no, once he was there, honestly, it was a great addition to have. He always came in with a big smile on his face, and he was always ready to manaki and always ready to give it his all. So, accepted him straight in, another part of the whanau.
Yeah. That was like the big thing. It was like when you went in there, you felt like you were part of a family, part of something more, and felt more connected when you were instantly in there. Because, going from just being like just a casual student, like, didn't really have what Mana Rangatahi has to offer. It was just, every time you go, you just feel so happy about it. You never really leave a session feeling bad or anything, like it was not worth it, but you always feel more uplifted, and positive.
Filling the
stuff
cup,
like that,
filling your cup.
So that's actually a really good point to pause on for a second. So before this, you were a student. What were each of you doing before you went into the program?
Do you want to carry on with what you were doing?
So I was just a student at Polytech. I was studying accounting, and then that was pretty much it. And then just joined Mana Rangatahi.
What did you join? Oh, what did you join? What made you come in? Yeah.
Oh, because I knew Heidi for many years, and I wanted to do an internship project with Heidi, and I just asked her, and she said, that'll be perfect. Come join Mana Rangatahi. I think you'll be best suited here for now, and we'll go from there. And she was right.
She's always right, eh? Yeah.
Well, for me, I started off as a university student at the business school. I did the Kanaki program, which gave me a very small amount of exposure to Heidi because she's one of the leaders for that. But then just before we were about to kick the Kanaki program into full gear, COVID hit. So lockdown, and the program had to be shifted quite a lot for it to actually be viable. So rather than doing sessions with Heidi and her like supporting us through the process with the business assistance that we were offering, it was just we were throwing out there and sent in to sort of just provide our skills to a startup business, sort of either, if you're in marketing, help them with their advertising thing. Management, I sort of tried to help with a business plan and also assist with some marketing stuff as well. But then after the Kanaki program wrapped up, I graduated. I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with my life. I still had 6 months left in my flat, so I'm like, I may as well come back down to Dunedin, and otherwise I'm just going to be paying money. So came back down. Next day I get down there, I get an email from like Heidi or one of the Kanaki people saying, hey, we need some people to come in and take some photos at INNOV8HQ for marketing purposes. And I'm just like, oh yeah, sweet, I'll do it. And go in there, meet, see Heidi probably just like the second time ever, get chatting, start yarning. She's like, mate, do you want to come in tomorrow? I've got something that I reckon you should be a part of. And so I come in the next day, get chatting again, and suddenly I'm signed up to Mana Rangatahi and throw it in the deep end there, and get to meet these lovely individuals.
Never looked back.
Never looked back, exactly. And that's what got me to the Mana Rangatahi segment, and then we suppose we carry on from there. Mitchell, where'd you come from?
Yeah, so these guys came from education, or tertiary, I guess. My backstory is quite a little bit different. I was just working, so for I think 3 years I was a salesman. Peaked about 8-12 months in, and then kind of plateaued and became a bit stagnant from there. You know, you leave high school with a lot of ambition and a lot of drive, and you kind of view on the world hasn't really been tainted yet. Like you're too ignorant to know that you can't do anything. That you can't. Oh, screwed that up. Yeah, you're too ignorant or too unaware to know that things aren't possible. So you've got kind of a drive and an ambition behind you. But started working, loved it. Then got really settled and a bit stagnant and kind of fell off from that self journey or that self-development journey. Because I used to be quite big on, always improving your character and your skills, but that kind of dropped off a little bit into that journey. I was out of work. I quit my job for like kind of a personal family reason. And then I think 6 months in, I was just doing temp work around Dunedin for like a temp agency, so nothing too grand, pretty boring backstory. But I'd always been looking for exposure into the business world or into the startup world. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew that there was a space I wanted to be around. People with those types of mindsets, always getting stuff done. I always thought that would be the most free way to live your life, to like produce a product that was yours or produce an idea that was yours. It seems like the most fulfilling thing you could do. Heidi put out a message on INNOV8HQ. I was following her for a little while, and I was always see her post up these selfie videos talking to like her followers. And at the time, I'm pretty sure the followers were like probably in the hundreds. There wasn't many people. But one day she put up a video just saying, calling all 16 and 24-year-olds who have ever been interested in business or want to get involved with kaupapa, come along and have a chat. We've got a session on Saturday. And it's I rocked up not knowing anyone. I walked in, I think there was like 5 strangers, like 5 people I'd never met, but a few of them were Māori as well. So kind of when I guess you've got that relation or you're all Māori, you can kind of feel a connection already. It's a weird kind of sense, Māori to another Māori, it's pretty cool. But walked in there, felt comfortable instantly, probably just because of the energy they give off. And then, kind of my journey started from there. So went from not doing a hell of a lot and me always kind of thinking about, we should be doing something else, to just meeting the right people, and then just being in the environment. And a lot of stuff has happened for me since. Like, there's a lot of changes in my life that being involved in the program is as a result of,
Don't talk off.
It's gangster.
Definitely back you on that. Well,
that's about it for me.
No, mate, that's perfect. I suppose we got up from our lives into Mana Rangatahi now. So I think we've covered that immediate background.
My life's way different because of Mana Rangatahi.
Yeah, such a positive change, eh?
It's awesome.
So there's that stat that I think is in one of the reports that I think I've got it written here. 50% of participants end up employed, 40% end up starting their own businesses, and then there's that 10% that go into further education.
Yep.
Which camp do each of you fall into? Where did you end up on your journey post?
Yeah, I'm still in further education, just finishing off my final year.
Did you change?
Yeah, I decided to change. Mana Rangatahi helped, kind of find what I was really looking for. So I switched from accounting major to marketing because I was more passionate about that. And then these guys helped me as well. But it's clearly obvious. Like every time they come in, you just don't look like an accountant. So
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. My dad's an accountant, so I better not comment.
Nothing wrong with accountants. I just think he's not good at maths. Maybe we'll just say it. We'll put it like that. We'll put it.
So switched over to marketing and still doing it now. I got the rest of the year to go through, but just such a bit of change. And thank these guys for helping influence the change.
I guess you get asked a lot of important questions from trustworthy people at Mana Rangatahi.
Was there a particular moment that you knew you were like, yep, I'm definitely going to go and change what I'm studying?
Within like a month of being a part of Mana Rangatahi, it was like real straight away. I was like, because they had like and there was an in-house accountant or something like that. And she was just like, why? Like, why are you doing this? And then I was just like, okay, if they're saying why, okay, maybe look at it. But it wasn't like really soon with just some of the stuff that we were going over. It just seemed just more creativity, more innovation, stuff like that. It just seemed. Just better suited.
You could definitely see that you're a lot more passionate when we were talking about like making a video for Mana Rangatahi or doing this than any time you talked about hitting the books. And,
just do some balance sheets.
Sweet.
But
How about yourself, Ben?
I've almost forgotten the question.
What pathway did you end up on during the program?
So I'd sort of let's just say I've never been a great student. I've never really been the sort of person who likes to sit down, smash out some study or write out an essay. Love learning, but don't tell me what to learn. As soon as that happens, for some reason my brain just flips a switch and it says, I'd rather do something else. But that was 16 or 17 years of my life in education, and I finished and I still had no idea what I wanted to do. And so started up Mana Rangatahi, and through Mana Rangatahi I got to meet Sophie, and Sophie had just gone through her own massive journey of sort of self-discovery and metamorphosis into the lovely butterfly that she is now, and she decided that she wanted to launch up her own business, and she was doing that while she was working away at INNOV8, and I was sort of in INNOV8 all the time helping Heidi with it, Mana Rangatahi, and just sort of being a what would you call it, and for lack of a better word, sort of the butler for INNOV8.
Like coffee boy,
exactly, coffee boy. And one day Sophie just sort of has a chat with me, and we start sort of chatting it through about her new business and if I'd like to be a part of it as we get it to launch process. And she gave me a chance to try it out, had a look, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Recruitment seems like the kind of place where I can use my skills / personality in the best way possible, rather than having to, since I still had no idea what I was going to do, I was like, better than me having to figure it out by myself.
100%.
Just because I think where I am currently, I'm still just trying to learn as much as I can around business and myself and what I actually want to do going forward long term. So being around the sort of people that can provide me with great skills and a great environment where I get to meet great people and do things that have value for me is the best place to be. So I chose, to get back to your question, the career pathway, and happily employed under Talent Network,
which you've got on the shirt.
Which I've got on the shirt right here. And for anyone out there, for your business recruitment needs, we specialise with industry, and we will make anything happen for you. So give us a call, 022 500 5248. Cheers.
There you go. Got the plug as well. Love it. Okay. So how long have you been in that position for now?
So probably, what would it be? Just September or just before September.
Yeah.
So that's when it all officially started, but I was helping out with the sort of setup and the launch of the business from a little bit before that as well. It's been honestly a big year, from going from absolutely no idea what I was going to do 12 months ago to feeling happy and feeling like I'm developing and a lot further ahead than I would have been otherwise now.
Awesome.
It's funny how you jump out of the education system, like there's no real connection or guide for what you should be doing afterwards.
Yeah.
It seems to be a bit of a thing. Like, I'm not blaming tertiary or anything. I mean, it's definitely a personal journey, but yeah, it seems like out of high school or out of tertiary, there's no real guidance or direction that you end up going. I mean, the people who are, like, there's plenty of people that are personally motivated and well developed and have the skill set to know, well, I should be doing this now. But I guess just a lot of people that are stuck in that way.
It's an opportunities thing as well, right? I think
Yeah.
we've done some research into the number of jobs the typical student can name when they leave high school,
Yeah.
and it's like less than 15 or less than 10.
Yeah.
People
when
just
you-
don't know what careers are out there. Yeah.
You take the low hanging fruit away, right? Like
Yeah.
police officer, firefighter, paramedic, doctor, lawyer. Like you're almost you're halfway to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that plus whatever their parents do. If it's outside
Yeah.
of those, plus maybe a couple family friends or a teacher,
Yeah.
right? That's the extent of careers that they know when they leave. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
crazy.
It's hard to know what you want to do when you've got such a.
Late stage capitalism in it.
We might not have time for that today.
But definitely a passionate topic for Ben.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, we're living it. I'm just stuck here. But I'm also passionate about, everything we do.
Well, getting back to what we're doing, what pathway did you end up on as you came through?
My pathway, yeah, it's an interesting story. I'm actually doing the same thing Ben's doing, so I'm under Sophie's wing at the moment. As I understand it, her motivation for starting her own business was actually after going through the Mana Rangatahi process with us, as like a tūkana, as a leader of that program. The question she was asking us, she actually eventually ended up asking herself, and that led her to discovering that there was a big misalignment of values between her and her employer, and she was in quite a high-ranking position. I believe she was one of the managers for either the
She
district
run
or
a
branch.
Dunedin branch for a recruitment agency.
Yeah.
And I think, both over COVID and then through Mana Rangatahi, she
Yeah.
found that wasn't where she wanted to be.
Exactly, yeah. The business itself was cool, but the values that they were challenged with, or the values they conflicted with post-COVID or in the middle of COVID, didn't align with her own. So she started her own business. And I remember being around that lady, definitely a big energy, and asked a lot of important questions. I think that's probably how Luke ended up changing what you were doing, was because you can't help but think about it when you're around people who are asking themselves those questions, or it's definitely something that happens naturally as a result. For me, I was working, just doing silly jobs to get money. This was through a temp agency, so pretty basic grunt stuff. But I knew I had way more skills than that. I was just enjoying the physical side of work. It was nice to work with my hands for once. But I quit my job to actually come do that youth hui that you were at, because I couldn't get the time off the job I was in. So I said, nah, it's all good. Had a bit of money, so sat back for a minute, hung out with all the cool people I wanted to hang out with around that space. And then Sophie eventually said, you should come in and hang out with me. I think your personality would match up well with recruitment. And as Ben was saying, he's definitely got a great personality for it. I think your expressions and your kind of mannerisms come across well to relate to people. So that's really good. And I've been enjoying the mahi ever since. We've got probably the coolest office I know of. I mean, there's a lot of cool spaces around Dunedin, but our office is pretty cool.
It's next level way.
Yeah, it's pretty
Whereabouts
next level. So just in the Bing Harris building, above
Princess
Catalyst and
Street,
Zucchini Brothers. Yeah.
Just down from the
Princess Street,
casino
High
if
Street,
you carry along down that side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been doing big mahi, and the best thing about our work at the moment, I think, is since we've come from that kaupapa of Mana Rangatahi and continual learning, instead of being an employee, we kind of sit alongside our boss. So the whole business is an open book, and we're learning a lot along the way. The practical implications of what a startup is and growing pains and things like that. We're learning a lot, and I feel like we're part of the business. We're not just employees, which is a way different feeling to just being a number on a pay sheet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on a pay docket. So,
And there's also some great arcade games in there.
we have 2 arcade machines, and we've got a driving simulator now from another group that has donated that to us. Can't wait
Shout out to TNT.
Yeah, Tamariki together.
Thanks, Tonga.
Yeah, they're
And to all
coming
the
in.
boys out there.
Yeah, they're coming in to use a bit of our space for their kaupapa every now and then, but they've given us a driving simulator, so I'll be very happy when that's up and running. I very much enjoy driving. Yeah.
This is gonna be awesome.
You know, some people they wait to get they want to get out of work. Once we got that driving simulator set up fully, I don't know if you're going to get me to leave.
Like, if I could live in that place, I would. That's probably real unique.
We have considered that on our multiple occasions. Like if COVID hit again, we might just
bunker down.
We'll just live in the office. We'll be fine. Get the mahi done and then keep on going. Like, we're real lucky, I think we had some questions at work for like a marketing video, but we're in such a unique, such a beautiful workplace with great people that it's kind of hard to not want to be there. Yeah, it's awesome for your motivation to get to mahi.
So who's holding all the high scores on those arcade machines?
I'm not very good at Tekken, Street Fighter as well. I'm horrible.
I reckon Mortal Kombat's the hardest one though.
It is, yeah.
Like I always just get stomped on. Whereas Tekken, I can get away with it because I reckon button mashing goes a bit better there.
Definitely, yeah. Tekken's a lot less involved than Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Sorry to all the Tekken fans out there. It's just, it's a lot easier for me to be bad and win the game.
How good. So you mentioned COVID. So was your time in Mana Rangatahi during COVID?
No. So basically,
just
post.
Okay.
Because we had the COVID lockdown, and in terms of like how I can sort of relate it to myself, COVID lockdown finished, like just like as uni wrapped up and everything, and then I came back down in about 2 or 3 weeks, and about 2 weeks later, I think a week later, Mana Rangatahi launched. So that was probably about 3 weeks of after COVID. I think we started getting into Mana Rangatahi after that proper lockdown, and like the sort of levels tick their way down.
Yeah, I think especially post COVID, like there was a big hunger for connection again.
I was going to say that,
like I think people would have just been hungry for socializing, especially like the manner that we were was such a cool theme or kaupapa. So that worked probably in Heidi's favour, I think. But so Heidi works in her own favour actually.
Yeah.
She's got just one of those personalities that you want to be around all the time, You probably know, you've met her a few times. Yeah, those people are quite unique. You got to hold on to them, and make sure that their flame doesn't go out.
I got to say, like the first 2 weeks of COVID, awesome, fun as chilling. Yeah. After as it started ticking along, you could just feel myself slowly just like ratcheting and more internally and more like locked into sort of like a tunnel vision, and then sort of you get released and you're sort of like your vision like slowly starts widening back out again. You're sort of
stuck in your own world.
I suppose like it sort of, as your vision widens, the sort of things that were on the periphery that you didn't notice before because they'd always been there sort of become more salient, and you sort of actually start looking for the opportunity, looking for that connection, which I found in Mana Rangatahi and these boys here and everyone else that was involved.
So touching on that post program, what does that connection look like? Do you all still keep in touch with everybody that was there?
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, messaging around. Unfortunately, we lost a soldier to Australia, but we're hoping to get him back
Australia.
soon. But the rest of us, like message around, catch up for coffees, beers. Like obviously, it was actually because you're who was it? We unfortunately can't take everyone out for beers because there is obviously some people who are
underage. Can't have beers yet.
Yeah.
So.
Shut up.
I don't drink beer either.
I'm more of a martini man myself.
I was like mojitos,
you tried
Yeah. We probably shouldn't talk about alcohol, but I think so our space changed. We moved from Vogel Street to the Bing Harris building, and now it's kind of under a different name, but we still got the same theme going on, same kind of friendship. So a lot of people pop in and out. Yeah, like Luke's there all the time for Mana Rangatahi and helping setting that up. Blake, who's our photography pro out there in the ether, he comes in a lot and just hangs out, which is awesome. That's kind of the way we want the space, because we've got such a facility, such an awesome place to do it. I think the one thing we're lacking at the moment is barbecues. We need more barbecues. I miss the barbecue. Well, it's probably because of the weather.
I'll just do some indoor ones.
Yeah, indoor barbecue, which is not great for the fire alarms, but that's all right.
So you mentioned a lot of you are still involved. Is there another program that's about to start, or another series that's about to start?
So I think Luke will probably be the best one to talk on that because you've
been running the sessions that have been ongoing for the last few weeks. Tap into that.
I'm not really too sure. Kind of like in the process of deciding what the future's going to look like for Mana Rangatahi right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, really, to say on that part.
Which is sort of dependent upon the funding mechanisms. And also, just because we want to be able to offer the best experience and the most valuable, this experience that offers the most connection and development. And
just keeping it authentic, eh? Like we're part of the first wave, which is kind of the pilot series. And we got a lot out of it because we had a lot of time, we had a lot of space, but condensing that down and trying to turn it into something where you can actually produce valuable results for people. It takes more time than I think people want it to, or then if you're going to go for funding, like there's a lot of boxes to tick and a lot of hoops to jump through, which kind of takes away from the value of the process, I think. Yeah, you don't want to change something just to fit a document to get some money, or get some funding for it. Would rather keep it authentic. But yeah, we're in the works now of, I think, creating something that's going to be just as valuable, but maybe a little more condensed, a little more easily accessible. Because I think the way we done our sessions, we had a half a year period.
12,
very long time.
Well, it was a technical 12. Technically, I think it was 12 weeks. We just kept going.
But we kept on going. But yeah, it takes a certain amount of time and a certain amount of commitment to do it. And I think finding a way to do that where the value is still there has been difficult at the moment. But definitely getting it done because it's a pretty important kaupapa to us, and probably the most important passion project that I'd be a part of at the moment. Yeah, I think pathways for me is probably the most relatable issue I've ever had in my life. I've not really had any issues with mental health or anything like that. I've been really fortunate. But, man, there's not been many mornings where I haven't woken up and asked me, what am I doing with my life? So I'd love to help other people out with that. But, kind of up in the air at the moment. We're sorting that out, and then we'll get back to you and we'll have it done. Yeah,
that's definitely that is definitely the key. Giving people pathways that they can actually be passionate about, and because once you're passionate about something, that's like 60% of 60% of it.
Part.
Yeah, and then because then you're happy to work, and you're happy to do it, and you're happy to
do the hard bits.
Do the hard bits as well.
To go into it,
Yeah, because there's a lot of romanticism around how that kind of stuff works. And you know this from the startup space, of course. And Heidi knows it as well. There's like a romantic period or a honeymoon phase where you think everything's fine. But once you get in it for a while and the grind keeps on going and going, you've really got to have, I guess, that sense of passion, or you're doing it not because you love the result, but because you love the process, I think is
it's all about the journey, mate. It's all about the journey.
Definitely. But I mean, when it comes to pathways, it's really important. Well, I think for society, we'd have a lot happier people, or a lot better place to live in, a much better place to live in if we had people doing what they think they should be doing or what they knew they should be doing. Yeah, that would be good for us and people as a whole.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It would be great if everyone could, be doing the thing that they want to do without the pressures of unemployment or, suddenly not having the financial security. If everyone was able to follow their passions, I'm sure.
If people didn't fear financial insecurity, then they'll probably be where they were supposed to be. But that's not how society's built at the moment, so we've got to operate differently. But we'd like to continue a kaupapa that kind of disagreed with that, I think.
So on that line, who should do Mana Rangatahi?
Well, I think, is it 18-year-olds now?
Yeah, I think it's 18
to 24, 25.
It's around there.
It's young youth, people who are adults, but they're also young. That's where it comes down into. And really, if you're not sure what you need to do and you're not sure where you're going exactly, but you feel like you could have a passion somewhere, or even if you don't know if you could, then come along and hopefully Luke or myself or Heidi can help you figure it out and get you going on that pathway that will, satisfy you and bring you success and across your whole order.
You got something to add to that?
Yeah, I do. I don't want to disagree with Ben because I love the guy, but
hey, mate.
We've
known each other long enough.
Yeah, we've known each other long enough. The word passion gets thrown around a lot, which is great for the people that have passion or they know what it is. But even if you don't, if you just want to be in the kaupapa or in that space, just come in, and when it comes to youth or being young, I'm 23 now. I don't feel young. I don't feel like a young man. I feel like I'm old. I'm the oldest I've ever been anyway. So
Young man, there's no need to feel down. Just carry on.
I mean, so there was nothing that qualified me to be in that space. I mean, I was in sales for 3-4 years, and then I was working trade, real basic grunt trade for like 6 months, almost a year. There was no really right for me to show up or even be there, but that was the point. There was no pre-qualification. I just want to be around those types of people, and I knew that in my heart. I knew that for a long time, but I never acted on it. It took someone like Heidi to put out a message like that attracted me or gave me the strength, the inner strength to actually go and hang out with people like that. So there's nothing that pre-qualified me. I had no skills, I had no passion, but I knew I wanted to be around those types of people, and that's what got me there. So if you're that person as well, come in,
Turn up for the community. Stay for what it teaches
Was
you.
it turn up for the food? Stay for
Just say that our first session did involve a feed, and that definitely did help. I think probably get some people in the door and get us because breaking bread with someone.
Nothing like a bit of kai.
It gets you talking. It gets you everyone settled, brings you together,
and you get to gorge on good food. So
exactly.
Gorge, no, that's good. I forgot the question.
It was just
that was the question.
Who should do it? You nailed it.
Yeah,
cool.
you killed it.
Yeah. Everyone should do it. If you feel you should.
If someone's at home and they're sitting on the fence about it, so say they're like, I've heard all these good things about it, but I don't know if I'm the right person, or I don't know if I'm going to get something out of it because I come from a particular background, or whatever that reasoning is. What would be what you'd say to them? What would be the thing that would tip them over the fence and get them in the room?
You got to take a risk.
Well, we had people probably covering most backgrounds you could think of really in the Mana Rangatahi program, and everyone got something out of it. There's no, it doesn't matter what race you are or what gender you are or whatever. You can just get in, just come in, and hopefully we can help, or hopefully I suppose it's more just helping everyone. Will end up helping yourself just by coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll add to that. Like growing up when I was in high school, I probably had a bit more ambition towards goals or passions. Even if I didn't know what the passion was, like I think my passion was business and ideas and bringing those things into fruition. But
sort of got beaten down out of you after you
I bit it out of myself really. Like I allowed it to happen. But and like even in high school, there was a lot of opportunities I had to actually do other things extracurricularly that would have added to like my overall character development. And of course, fear gets in the way of that, and sometimes you don't do those things. But definitely post Mana Rangatahi, like there's been heaps of things I've been involved in now, like that youth hui. I would never thought myself a public speaker, and I'm not. Like I don't do it very often, and I don't know if I do it that well, but I enjoy the process. And it was an object or an activity that was masked in fear initially, but at the other side of that was character development or more strength, just getting used to doing things that you're scared of. But if I hadn't said yes to that, then that led me down a lot of other pathways. I actually been involved with that. Hui led me into tuia, which you probably know what tuia is, which is a Māori kaupapa for leadership development. If I hadn't said yes to that hui, I wouldn't be part of tuia now, and I wouldn't have end up doing a lot of cool things I've been doing. Like I've been hanging out with the mayor now because of the tuia program. I've been exposed to council and government and things I would have never had the chance to be a part of. And now I walk around like some businesses or people want my opinion on things, and like I'm not qualified in any kind of way or situation. So it's amazing. Like if I hadn't taken that risk, then I wouldn't be where I am now. So the easiest risk I think you could take if you're going to go down that journey would be just coming and hanging out and having a chat. Like there's no skills you need, there's no passion you have to have. If you think you should be in that space, then you're welcome. And it doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl or anything in between, or just be a person. Just be a person. Come in. About it.
Yeah, definitely. It'll help you get a greater understanding of yourself. Definitely help me also get a better handle on my connection with my own Māori side, and because I've definitely been, I'd say, sheltered from that or raised in a very Pākehā environment throughout my life, and it's definitely helped me sort of nail back into that and sort of understand and give back and just be part of the community as well.
Yeah, like I was definitely one of the types of people that would definitely be on the fence about joining something like this because it's just so different from what you're used to. Like during COVID, I was working in a kitchen for 50 hours a week while studying, and that just really made me just so upset, and I didn't want to do that coming out of COVID. So when the opportunity presented itself, it was just all about just saying yes, and that was it. Like you don't have to stay. No one's forcing you to be, but but you never leave once you start joining because it's so good.
First step,
yeah, but it's just making that first step, and then you just opens a new world, opens up a bunch of doors, and gets you some real good experiences.
I think that's another piece of value, eh? If you're doing a job you really don't like, you might think it's crap at the time and it's a bad situation, but doing stuff you don't like is a really good way of figuring out what maybe you should be doing. Yeah, like I would be filling up gas bottles at Genesis, and I love the team there. Like there was a lot of banter and the job was easy, but my brain had a lot of free time, and I was always thinking about stuff and always writing stuff down, which was actually great, and it kind of led me on woke me up a little bit. I was kind of asleep at the wheel with my own life, so it was good.
Yeah, doing things you don't like definitely helps you figure out.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Having done dishes myself as a kitchen hand.
Definitely. Yeah.
Although I do think there'd be something kind of nice about doing dishes and then not having to think about doing dishes once you get home at night. When you're
it's always
you're in the shower in the morning. You know what I mean?
Just
as much as I love my job, like sometimes if I get that tricky problem, I can't get it out of my head until I've solved it.
Work follows you home, mate.
Yeah, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's all about balance.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it's not actually work; it's just something you care about a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is my first job where I've had to be inside. I've never had a job where I'm inside before, so that was definitely a change, and definitely having to think about using your brain instead of just like digging ditches or building a garden when you're doing some landscaping. It is different. I think, you might come home after there's a lot of value in a hard day's work where I think it's a different sort of tired, and I think it does the sort of endorphins that you probably get from physical exercise sort of help balance it out, because I reckon I come home more tired after a big day of using your brain than after digging ditches.
100%.
Looping back into what you were saying before, I think that was a really good point around just turn up for the first session. Because I think we've been talking about some of these big transformations that happen when we come through something like this, and that can be really intimidating to some people, right? But you've got that choice, right, to turn up for one, see if it's for you, and hopefully never look back like each of you have.
Take every journey a step at a time, and it's the easiest way to do it.
That's what they say is that 0 to 1's the hardest thing to achieve. Yeah, or turning nothing into something. The first step's the hardest, and then everything after that is kind of easy.
It's just a good opportunity to just implement change. Just really, honestly, just say yes.
Get used to it, eh?
Yeah.
Get used to things happening, or the environment's changing, or changing the people you're around.
I suppose it doesn't really matter what direction you're going, because each step, you're probably off with a different destination and a different pathway. So it's just one more step along each different trail that you're going along.
Exactly. Like if nothing bad can come from it, then what is the fear of doing it? I guess there's an initial fear of the unknown, but that's natural.
Like putting yourself out there as well.
Yeah.
Worried about that lack of acceptance.
Yeah,
that's a natural fear, but that'll come with anything you do, so might as well do it for something or commit to something that has a better outcome or a cool outcome on the other side. Because you're going to run into that in any situation you come into, any new social situation.
Yeah. One of the benefits of Mana Rangatahi is that you always find that you say yes a lot more to things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. I find that a lot more now. Just something comes up, just sure.
Yeah.
Just
like opportunity.
I'll probably suck at it, but
but
do it anyway.
Have the humility to do it and be bad at it first. Being a bit of a fool at the start.
I think that's an important skill that I've learned over the last year or so, because I've never been someone who likes being bad at something. So in my life, I've always sort of only gone down pathways where I start with it and I've got a natural affinity for it. But I think with Mana Rangatahi, it sort of helped teach me that you don't have to be the best or be good at something just to be doing it. The value's in actually doing it rather than having to master it when it's the first time you're out there.
Yeah, that's your ego tricking you, eh?
It's the ego.
Your ego playing games with you saying, well, if I'm not good at it, I won't try it. Well, there's only one way to get better, brother.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
just
I'm
go
doing.
to it.
That's amazing. One of the things we do with our Audacious program is I get up front of the room and I go, put your hand up if you can sing. Look around the room. Normally there's one or two people in a room, about 30, that will put their hand up. Then I go, put your hand up if you can draw. And again, same thing. You get a few more for drawing because it's less kind of performance based. So you maybe get like 5 people in the room that will put their hand up for drawing. And I say, what would happen if I asked a room of 5-year-olds the same questions? And just, everybody's hands would go up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, so what's changed? And all the same things that you
Social
guys are talking
conditioning.
about,
Yeah.
they all pop up for that, and one of the things with entrepreneurship or moving into a new job or finding your pathway, whatever that may be, is you've got to have that curiosity, right? You've got to be willing to kind of do something outside your comfort zone and not know that you're going to be good at it off the bat, like you were saying. So
It's funny, eh?
so there
Because
resonates.
if we could maintain that
Childlike curiosity.
that mentality, I think would be pretty powerful, eh?
I think it's because of the commercialization of skills. Like, as we have to use our skills to market ourselves or market them, people feel that if I can't use these skills to be successful or awesome at something, then what's the point in those skills? Rather than just having the skill for the sake of having the skill, because it gives you joy rather than making you better than someone else or better than well, I lost my mind there, but I think you get my point.
might be part of like New Zealand's tall poppy syndrome as well. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't voice when they actually write at something. I certainly don't. Like, I could have skills in something I wouldn't even. If someone asked me if I was any good at it, I'd probably say no, and I'd still be like that. And I don't know if that's from a place of trying to be humble. And saying that you're trying to be humble makes you not humble, so I've got to be careful of that. But, that for me, that's where that stems from. But yeah, curiosity for kids, putting their hands up to sing. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I don't know why we lose it and what happens, but if we could find a way to change that, it'd be pretty gangster.
Have you guys come across Robert Hollis before? He talks a lot about tall poppy syndrome, and he's an entrepreneur. He used to actually snowboard for New Zealand as well, but then he started a media company. He's done a bunch of cool stuff. But he tours around New Zealand high schools and has this free book and free talk that he does because he's trying to kill New Zealand's tall poppy syndrome. And his thing is New Zealand wins when New Zealanders win. So we can't be having this attitude of, they're a winner,
Don't put
we've got to
yourself
pull
out
them
there.
down.
It's funny, it's funny how that happens. Like New Zealand, anytime anyone from New Zealand does something like on the international stage, everyone's they're Kiwi, yeah. Like there's heaps of patriotism to it. But then, when the person with the skill is developing the skill, there doesn't seem to be the same type of enthusiasm.
Try hard.
You're getting up at 6 a.m. to train?
Okay, yeah. This guy, yeah. It's funny. And we've probably all been perpetrators of it at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it was intentional or not, but yeah.
Probably having a room like what you were in where you're really authentic and you've stripped a few layers back means there's not a lot of room for that, right? Like you guys have seen a lot of that.
You can't. That was definitely a thing. It was all about bringing each other up rather than any sort of like bringing someone down or cutting them off at the ankles.
Yeah, I think even what we found is that mostly people would bring themselves down. Like it wasn't like in that environment. Yeah. Like especially, I'd probably do the same thing. Like I would understate what I was capable of.
You're very self-deprecating. I'll put it like that.
Exactly, and I actually really like it. I like being like that.
I think I think self-deprecation has its place, but aside, you got to also understand that where your value does lie, and also there's some studies show that sort of like you have got to shift that negative self-chat to positive self-chat, even if you're doing it as a joke. I think that can like have an effect on your own perception of yourself and your skills.
Yeah, 100%. Like you do it to kind of humble or level yourself, but at the same time, like to what degree or dynamic do you do it? Like how much negative self-talk should you have in order to check your own ego? Sometimes it goes too far.
That's the balance, eh?
Yeah, because you should know that you're good at something, but then also have the humbleness to say, look, there's definitely people that are better.
And also, otherwise you won't improve because you think you're hot stuff at something. Then like there's some less perceived value in you practicing at it more and continuing.
What did was it Will Smith has a quote, or he likes a quote? Yeah, this is real random, but what was it? Yeah, he said hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Oof.
And yeah, that's true.
I'll put that up on the poster in the office, mate.
Anytime you're slacking off, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, we've talked a little bit about what's next for Mana Rangatahi, but what's next for each of you? What are you looking to get done in 2021? And is there anything that the community can help you with? Are there any asks for the community for what you're doing with the talent network or otherwise?
In terms of community engagement, obviously, if everyone could have a chat to the younger people in their lives and encourage them to head along to Mana Rangatahi if they're listening today, that would be awesome. Aside from that, we've also got under the Talent Network umbrella, Hiwa coming out, which will be to help everyone in terms of it's more of a straight career job focusing sessions. And so if anyone's needing any assistance in putting a CV together or,
Straight approaching a job.
Straight up, approaching a job, then jump on the Hiwa Facebook page and send us a message and we'll see what we can do to help you out.
Plans for 2021.
Yeah.
Personally, I've got a few things to accomplish. So probably top of my list at the moment is becoming more adept in my work environment. There's a lot of rewards to that at the end of the day, and it definitely helped balance my lifestyle a bit, and hopefully help me meet some financial goals. Everyone's talking about the housing market at the moment, which is kind of a scary thing to observe as it climbs up and further out of reach. So I would like to grab onto that when we can, which is a whole another issue entirely. Outside of mahi and getting that stuff done, after that would probably be Mana Rangatahi, I think.
Into the next
wave,
the next stage of that, whatever that does end up looking like.
Yeah, next rōpū. That would be my goal for I guess a passion project or giving something back. Because struggling with pathways is the most relatable issue I've come across in my life, and I think it's the one thing I could speak on with some level of confidence. When it comes to mental health, I've never really had any issues, so I don't have a lot of context to the situation, even though it's a big topic these days, and I appreciate the idea. But no, I could definitely help with pathways and helping people through that. Then some other things like tuia, so the Māori leadership development. That's really helping activate this Māoridom that I haven't had for a long time. I mean, I knew I was Māori when I was growing up. Well, I found out I was Māori when I was growing up in intermediate, because other Māoris recognised me. So my primary school, all Pākehā, which didn't matter, I didn't know, but I was at the intermediate and everyone was like, oh, you're Māori. And I'm like, oh, am I? Is that why I always go to Tangis and go up north and see all my cousins? I'm definitely reactivating that journey. Mana Rangatahi was a big activator of that, just being in that Māori space or having that type of kaupapa, learning the tikanga and stuff like that. And now me and Ben through work, or through the allowance of our work, learning te reo at Araituru, just over the hill in Kaikorai Valley.
Thanks, Tanya.
Yeah, thank you, tons. And Sophie for letting us do it, our boss. So we're doing the reo journey. So I think for me this year it's mahi, Mana Rangatahi, reo, tuia, and another couple courses. Firefighting, I've got to get qualified in that as well. That's my goals for this year. That's about it.
Yeah, my goals for 2021, oh gosh. Finish my degree, obviously. That's the first major one. And to work alongside doing Mana Rangatahi and to work with INNOV8HQ for the rest of the year. And those are just the big goals to get prepared for going into the business world.
So you'll graduate at the end of this year?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of the types of people that you want to be working with once you
these two, obviously.
No, mate, there's more people out there.
No, it's a good. Not too sure at the moment, but there's still time to figure that all out as the year comes to a close.
Well, the best part, we're in a space that if you have any questions like that, Heidi Renata, the lady who started Mana Rangatahi, she's got all the connections in the world. So if we ever need anything when it comes to the business world, she knows 3 or 4 people.
She knows everyone.
Yeah. So we're so fortunate to be in that space where we can just curious about something, ask her. She'll get us or make us a part of it. Yeah, like at the moment, I think she's going to be dealing with a modular homes business soon, which is something I think will be very relatable to the new generation or our generation coming up, where we can't afford to live in such big spaces or can't afford the same type of housing.
Affordable, yeah.
Like, you don't need a massive house. You just need utilities and a place to feel like home. Like, it doesn't need to be space. You just need the space to feel good. And I think that'll be an important theme for us coming up, or our generation coming up. Yeah.
LDP. Awesome. Well, I think that's all that we've got time for today. So thank you, Luke, Ben, and Mitchell for coming on the show. It's awesome to hear all your perspectives and hear all about the program and obviously what you took away from that kaupapa and everything that you learned through that. So thank you for sharing those experiences so authentically. If you enjoyed the show, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, jump on Anchor or wherever else you've found this podcast, and tune in to see more episodes coming out later on. And we'll catch you later. Ka kite.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.